Good morning, everybody. My name is Neil Bedford. I'm the product director at Cameron Computers, and I'm here to give you an overview on the trade counter environment for KCPOS. The demonstration will take probably around about 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes to take you through, and it's just a high-level overview of KCPOS and some of the features of KCPOS that make it fit well within the trade counter environment. So I'm going to start off by logging us into KCPOS. You should be in a position where you can all see the KCPOS screen. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into KCPOS. Now KCPOS allows operators to log in a variety of different ways, whether that be via a password, a swipe card, a barcode, or a Dallas key, or any combination of those we can use. We've got a variety of different ways of logging in, and the till system will then record every action of every user within the audit log that it creates based on that individual operator. So you'll see later on certain information that we can gather per operator about what they're doing, sales, transactions, etc. So I'm going to start off by just quickly explaining regarding KCPOS. And one of its most powerful features is its level of integration with the accounts packages that we work with. And the integration itself is a very, very high level and very detailed integration. And what it allows us to do is to be able to gather information from the accounts package of things like customers, their prices, their discount structures, their quantity breaks that they have, all of that style of information. The tills get that information, so that's extracted on a continual basis from the accounts package, and that information is pushed over into the KCPOS tills, and from that information the tills then can actually produce the same style and same pricing of transactions as what the accounts package would produce. So this means that for a customer that comes in that's got specific pricing, got quantity breaks, as we put that through the till will then use their special prices, their quantity breaks, etc. And further to that, what actually happens is with the KCPOS system, you don't need to do the account selection at the beginning of the transaction. So we could be going through, putting transactions onto the transaction itself. Then the customer says, oh, by the way, I've got an account with you. So at which point we can go off, we can find the account, we can search, we can find who it is, what prices they've got, and away we go. So they're now working with that customer, and if that customer has got their own special prices, then the till system will at that point recalculate the whole transaction to actually use their special prices and take their quantity breaks, etc. into account. With those transactions also that we're doing to an account, we have the ability to be able to physically put it to an account subject to the account being set up correctly within the accounts package. So we could have a scenario with a customer that has trading terms with us, they have a credit limit, so they come in, and what we're going to do is we are physically going to take this transaction and we are going to push it to account. Now in this one's case, this customer isn't allowed to have an account type transaction. It's set up as being a cash only type customer, and with that the system is now warning me of that. As I am a system administrator within the till, I actually have the option to be able to override this. So I could, in theory, answer yes to this and allow it to go to an account. Per permissions of each operator of the till, you can determine whether or not they have permissions to override this setting or not. So if I were to say no, it won't allow me to. And again, the till system will, if I've got a credit limit and I'm close to that credit limit or over that credit limit, when I put this sale through, if this pushes me over that limit, again it will warn me, show me the warning, and again, subject to security permissions, it will then be in a position where it will either allow me to override that and put the transaction through, or if I don't have permissions, it won't. It will fail. It will then take that through. In this instance, I'm going to just take cash, and away we go. We can put that through. Now, while we're on this screen, this is the tender screen, so this allows us to be able to tender the transaction, whether that be tender it to account, cash, card, variety of different other methods. You can set your own methods up, so whether that be credit note, gift cards, vouchers, that style of thing. And we can do a mixture of transactions as well. So with here, we're actually in a position where I could actually say, well, actually, I've taken £10 in cash, the rest I'm going to put on card. So I've got a multi-tender all on the same transaction. And that will all follow through into the accounts package, post the 2 different receipts for the different tender types, post the invoice for our sale, and it will then allocate them all together. We can also, with the credit card option, have an integrated chip and pin. So KCPOS allows both an integrated and a non-integrated chip and pin solution, and this can be a mixture on the sites. So you can, if you're tied into a contract with a supplier already, and then some devices start to come out of contract, you can start to move certain tools over to an integrated solution. You don't have to move them all in one go. We have a full PCI compliant solution with Verifone, SagePay and TNS. So from an end-to-end encryption perspective, they are fully PCI compliant and do not break any of the compliancy rules and so on. So from a tills perspective, we never store any credit card information. All we ever do is print the last 4 digits of a credit card on a receipt. That's as much information as the physical tills store to ensure that they stay fully PCI compliant with that transaction. So I will just accept this. We also can configure optionally within the tills marketing sources. So this allows us to set up, or for you to set up, a list of marketing sources that you're working with. Whether or not that be different promotions you've got on the go, where did you hear about us, those style of things, so that you can then at a later date report on this data to be able to see exactly what's gone on, what ones are working for you, what ones aren't. Because as an account customer, I can optionally take a reference, and again the transaction will then normally print out a physical receipt. I've got mine set to show you on the screen so we can just see that there is a receipt that will be printed. Now with the KCPOS system, you have the ability to both print thermal receipts and or A4 receipts stroke invoices. So you can set the system up to prompt you to say, do you want it in effect to be a thermal or an A4? Or the system can be set up to say, okay, when it's an account customer, I always print it to A4. When it's Joe Public coming in, then it will go to a thermal receipt. Or you can do a mixture of both, so you can set the system up in a variety of different ways to configure how you want your printing to work. But the system will support both A4 and thermal receipt printouts. So like I say, from an account perspective, very quick, very easy for us to be able to find the accounts, put those transactions through, use their prices, etc. As you saw with my one, accounts can be set up as being cash only. What that means is the account itself cannot be used for taking or having any credit, but they can still have an account. You can still trace what they've come in, what they've bought, etc. through the till system. So let's have a look at some other features that we've got within the till system. If we just put a few different items on. Within the tills, there is the facility within the trade counter mode for what we class as a haggle screen. Now the haggle screen gives you the ability as the operator to be able to see your prices, your cost prices, your gross profits, etc. Obviously, yes, this is not a screen that you'll want your direct customers to see, but if you're on the phone or if you've got a till that is set back from the counter where you're able to go to and actually haggle from a screen perspective, you can highlight lines, you can go into it, you can haggle, so you can actually see, okay, this item's retail price is £12.25. If I was to amend that and go, okay, if I was to sell that for £12, that now tells me the profit that I'm making. Or if I'm in a scenario I've got to make a minimum of 18% margin of my profit then the system will recalculate the selling prices and the trade prices for us based on that, and we can accept those, and we can then see from a whole transaction perspective where we sit in terms of gross profit percentage. So it's a very nice, very easy screen for you to be able to use from a haggle perspective, to be able to look, see, and work out from pricing perspective. We do have quite a few customers that actually use the KCPOS system as a tele-ordering system. So customers ring up, place orders. They're actually using the till to place those orders against their account, using the haggle screen where they need to haggle. If a customer's already got their own special prices, then the till will pick those up. We'll use those and work with them from there. What we can also do is the tills themselves can be set up to have what's known as band pricing. So again, from an accounts package perspective, there's quite a few of the accounts packages out there that allow you to define different price bands for different customers. So you can set up price bands, let's say A to H. Then you can have certain customers on certain price bands. So you may set up having a loyalty scheme, for instance. So with the loyalty scheme, it may be that you've got two types of main customers that you want to do different pricing to. You may have builders, for instance. You may have, I don't know, a pony club, for instance. So when a builder comes in and they're given a loyalty card, and that loyalty card in effect associates the customer with a price band, and that price band can have a different pricing structure to the general retail and to any other price structures. So when that person comes in, they swipe their card, they may just get special prices on the general builder on building supplies, whereas the pony club, if the outlet actually sells items that are very specific for the pony club, they may get specialist pricing on that area. So it allows you to tailor your pricing for different types of customers with different industries, but without having to manually remember to override and reset the prices, etc. With them. Till system obviously also allows you to be able to do a variety of different options in terms of price overrides. So we can do discounting by percentage, discounting by value. We can do specific price corrections. So this is allowing us just literally to override the price of the item and set it to a new price. All of these options are based on user security. So within the till system, you can configure each operator which of these options they're able to do. So you may give a customer or an operator the ability to be able to do a discount by value, but not be able to do a specific price correction. They may be able to do discounts, but they can't do refunds. All of the options within the till system are all configurable per operator to be able to see and control each operator as to what you want them to do. I mentioned earlier regarding the loyalty scheme, whether it be for builders, pony club and so on. Obviously you could set up loyalty schemes for general Joe Public as well. The way the loyalty scheme works is the actual KCPOS till system has its own loyalty database. That loyalty database stays within the till system, but allows the system to both record what transactions customers are coming in, what they're buying, when they're buying them, when haven't they been in for a certain period of time. So you've actually got buy-in trends that you can work with and be able to see. You're also in a situation where you actually can analyse your different styles of customers in the information that they are. So with that, within the loyalty module, we can record different types of information against the customer to be able to say whether or not they're a certain business type, whether they're a certain customer, as in it's just Joe Public, etc. So it allows you to break that information down, analyse it and look at it in a more detailed level. So I mentioned earlier regarding the A4 invoices that we have and that we can do from a printing perspective. The till system also has the ability to be able to do other styles or other printing from different other transactions that we do. So if we were, for instance, halfway through a transaction, we're dealing with a customer, and the customer then comes along and goes, oh, I need to purchase something else, I just need to nip back into the shop, but we've actually got a queue of people that actually are in the line. What we can do is we can do what's known as a park. and this park allows us to park the transaction to the side. We can give it a reference if we wish. This will print us out a little ticket if we want it to, which we can give to the customer. They can now go off, they can go get whatever other items they want. We can now serve the next customer and put them through. When that customer comes back, and they don't have to go back to the till that actually they did the park on, they can go back to any of the tills at the branch. So they can go back, they can either A, scan the little receipt that we gave the customer, or if the customer's either lost it or thrown it away, we can still go back into the restore a transaction, find the one that we're after, restore it. We can now carry on where we left off. Now, from a trade counter perspective, what this also allows us to be able to do is if we're talking to a customer either on the phone or they've come in and they're haggling with us and they in effect want to build up a list of all items and work out special prices for it, but they then want that final price as in effect a quotation that they can take away but not actually commit to at the moment, we're able to use the park facility to be able to park those transactions to the side and print out an A4 document for a quotation, giving it a unique quotation reference, etc., putting it to the side. Customer goes off, speaks to their customer, yep, happy to go ahead with all that. They can either ring up or come back in the shop. We can then pick that part transaction back up, process it through, or pick it up and go, yeah, well, I want that item, but I don't want that one, and process them through in that way. So it puts us in a position being able to use the park sales for quotations that we can recall at a later date, be able to see what's outstanding from a park sales perspective, because we can look at those from the reports to be able to see what quotes we've got left outstanding that haven't been taken, etc. So again, a very useful facility from a trading perspective. Also on the actual tills, we can set up so that the tills themselves can display us images. So we can, as we either select or scan images, we can get the till to show us those items. So if I was to go to, I've got some items set up, if I went to a brick light, if I either select it from the list or scan the item, it will actually show us a physical picture of that item that we're looking for. So again, we're then in a position where A, we can make sure that it's the right item for the customer, but B, we can make sure there's been no barcode swapping or whatever within store to make sure that the item that they've got in the hand is the same item as the barcode. And again, we can pick a variety of different options, very quick, very easy to be able to see those, pick those images, show them on the screen, see what we're looking at. We can also do inquiries regarding products. So if I was to pick an item, have a look, the system will actually show us then its prices inclusive and exclusive of VAT, but it'll also show us quantities in stock. So if we've got an account solution that is a multi-locational stock, what the system will do is it will actually show us those stock levels that are in store at the other branches, and it allows us to be able to see, we haven't got any, however our store 2 miles down the road does have some in stock, and the system can also be set up to allow you to be able to sell the item at your store but taking the stock from a different store. So in effect, you're doing the transaction at your store, you'll give them a receipt, they'll go to the store down the road, give them the receipt, and they'll hand the item over. And the actual movements that happen within the accounts package and the stock control will take that specific item from the other store's stock. It won't take that item from your stock because you haven't got any. So it puts you in a position to be able to do the multi-branch, multi-stock situation and work with those from there. As I mentioned at the beginning, we bring across all of the accounts pricing, structures, discounts and so on. However, the KCPOS till system also has its own discounts and promotions above and beyond what any of the accounts packages have. So within the administrator, we're able to set up our own types of discounts and these are promotions, and these are things like buy X of an item and get Y free, meal deals, giveaway, volume breaks, those sorts of things. So we could do an example of a meal deal, so any sandwich, any crisps, any drink for a set price. And again, you can do that in a trade environment where you're doing certain categories of items or certain items any combination of those for a fixed price or for a discount. With each of those that goes on as well, when we look at them, we can set them up so that we can do them via a date range, a time range, and a day of the week. So what this allows us to do is to be able to set the system up so that we can do a promotion that's going to run in November. It's going to run between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, but it's only running on a Friday, Saturday and a Sunday. And the tills will automatically respect those promotions within those dates and follow those rules. So you can set all of these promotions and setups prior, well in advance, just configure them via a date range, time range if you wish. And you can also set them up to be repeatable a certain number of times within a transaction. So the system can be configured to say, right, same customer can only buy this or have this promotion once or twice within the same transactional sale. Or, as we've got it set up here, 0 means it's indefinite. They can have an infinite number of them that they wish. So we can set up as many different styles of and offers and discounts and so on as we want, which sit above and beyond what's coming from the accounts package with the special prices and the discounts that happen. On the tills themselves, down the bottom we saw was our custom menus, and this area is a set of menus that you can configure, you can set up as to how you want them to be. Different tills, or each different till could be set up to have its own menu, or you can have a group of tills all on the same menu. They can be set up however you wish, and each of these can be set up to drill into, or they can run a specific function, do a certain operation on the till. So I can set this till up, in this one's case in trade counter mode. I could go to another till, and I could set a different till up to look in a totally different way and have a totally different look and feel. It can still be working on the same physical stock, but it may be that it's in a different environment. So you may have one trade counter area that's set up that's purely dealing with electrical items, so they're going to be your key items that go on the front. You may have another area that's set up for plumbing, and again that can have a totally different setup and configuration to how you want it to be. So each individual till can optionally be configured to be different, and it's a very straightforward process to do within the administrator. You can create your own menus, and you can create them in advance. So again, if you've got special offers and promotions you're going to want to do, you can set these menus up but not deploy them out to the tills yet until you're ready to get the tills to use them. So we can look at our trade counter mode, and if I look at our trade, that is our main menu that we were working with. So it's very easy for us to be able to see that what we're saying is when we click on this menu, it's going to open up another menu called HA Garden. If I was to look at our menus, HA Garden then takes us into what menu? So there. So it's very, very straightforward for us to be able to open up menus, create new menus, add new buttons, and if we just wanted to add a product, we could just literally go to a button, give it a description of what we wanted to do, tell it what we was actually going to do with the button. So I'm going to do a product edition, and if I just want to pick that item now, so that means when we click on that My Product button, it's going to add that product to the sale. Very, very straightforward, very simple. I've now made that menu change. I'm going to force that change out to the tills. So from here now, if I was to go into my garden, I've got my product button. When I click on it, that's exactly what it does. So it's very straightforward, very simple for us to be able to use, and very straightforward. Final thing I just want to show you is some of the sort of information you can get from a reporting perspective and analysis from the till. On the tills will obviously print out a daily Z read. And those tills and those Z reads provide you information regarding the cash that's in the cash drawer, the floats, etc. What tenders you've had during the day and to what values. What promotions have gone on this till, how many of them have happened and to what value has been given away with those promotions. Different VAT analysis that we've got. We also get an overall sales summary, which allows us to see our total number of sales, voids, discounts, price corrections, etc. We then also get a time banding. So down the left hand side is our 24-hour clock, and against that we can then see with each of those time slots how many products have been sold to how many customers, to what total value, average spend, average sale value, etc. So this allows you to analyse and be able to see that, okay, loads of my staff start at 7 o'clock in the morning, but actually we don't get busy until 9, 10 o'clock. So rather than having 3 people on the trade counter first thing, we'll put 1, we'll redeploy the other 2 for the first couple of hours to do other roles within the business, and then move them back when things start to get busy. We can also on the Z-Read see our cashier report. So as I mentioned right at the start, each operator that logs into the till is audited, so the system knows exactly what's gone on from their transactions. So we can see every sale they do, every void that they do, price correction, refunds, discounts, so that we can see certain staff that are either struggling with training, they're always doing voids, they're always putting the wrong items on the transactions, etc. Or we've got a situation where, because the operator knows what they're doing in terms of training, it's just that we may have an issue in terms of items being put on transactions and voided from a skimming perspective. So therefore it has to be audited, and allows the operators or the management to be able to see what each individual operator is doing and to what levels it can be done. All of this information can be got from a back office perspective. It's not just at the till. And what it also allows is this sort of information can be locked down. So again, only certain operators can get in, see this style of information, get this level of detail from the till. So that just about covers my overview from KCPOS for trade counters. If anybody has got any further questions or queries that they'd like us to answer on the KCPOS tills, by all means get in contact with us and we'll be happy to answer those queries for you. I'd like to thank everybody for their time. Like I say, my name was Neil Bedford, and I hope to speak to all of you again sometime soon. Thank you.